Hey guys, my name's Henry, a photographer and videographer from Somerset in England. This tutorial is going to be the first in a series of tutorials looking at how to take better photos and better videos. This tutorial is going to be my top 10 tips on taking better landscape photos. Tip number 1. Make sure that horizon line is straight. This is one of my prime bugbears and it gives me minor anxiety. Whether it's in camera or in post, this is a quick fix to make your photos look 10 times better. Tip number 2. Use light to your advantage. This will prevent photos from lacking interest and appearing flat and dull. Tip number 3. When it comes to composition, spend some time finding an original shot that hasn't been done before, especially if it's in a popular location. Try going lower or higher perhaps, but always remember the golden rule of thirds. Also, consider having foreground interest to draw the viewer around the photo. Tip number 4. Try putting your camera in manual mode. This only applies to you if you have a DSLR, mirrorless or bridge camera that has manual capability. Putting a camera in manual mode means that you have manual focus of the aperture, shutter speed and ISO. This way you'll have a much greater control over the light and overall effect of the shot. Tip number 5. If your camera can do it, make sure it's shooting in RAW. Essentially what this means is that the camera will make as little of the decisions as possible so that you have the greatest flexibility when it comes to editing your photo. Tip number 6. Remember, if you're shooting for Instagram or Instagram's your main photo output, then shoot in portrait. Portrait photos have been proven to do better on Instagram, getting more engagement. Tip number 7. Use people to convey a sense of scale. This can be a dramatic effect without taking away from the subject of the photo. Tip number 8. Shoot at the extremities of the day, that is sunrise and sunset. The so-called golden hours at the beginning and end of the day allow for more interesting photos with greater colour depth. Tip number 9. Avoid a point and shoot mentality. Concentrate on taking 5 or 10 good photos as opposed to 50. Take time to set up your shots and really nail the look you want. My final tip is just to get out there and shoot. People spend a lot of time worrying about whether their photos will be good enough or whether the landscape outside is dramatic enough. In actual fact, what's needed is a little bit of imagination to try and see your landscape from a different point of view. Certain characteristics in every type of weather can make a photo look great. So, those are my top 10 tips for taking better landscape photos. If you enjoyed the video, then please ensure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe below.